Welcome to Love Morning. I am John Halcyon. This is a daily practice, but I have been gone. So I am so glad to be back and returning to this practice of sharing gratitude, of setting the sails of our day towards the person that we want to be. Remind ourselves to be patient and kind with ourselves and others every day. Little bitty gestures in that direction of kindness and patience every day creates profound ripples in the world. Oh, and I start with a song that I make up. I've been in Oregon. It's so good to be back. I was gone almost a week if you were keeping track. When I was there every day, I jumped in a creek. And once I did it naked, but I invited you to peek. When you're in such beauty, there is so much green. It's easy to have gratitude if you know what I mean. And now it's so good to be back here to feel loved and seen. Good morning. I wrote down a few rhyming words that I wanted to do, and then I forgot them, and I made that song pretty pretty fumbly and terrible. And you know why I wrote down the words? While I was there, I had 2 opportunities to improv a song, and I flubbed them pretty badly. I mean, people were laughing hysterically, and uh, it was fun. I'd sang an impromptu birthday song to my friend Sean, and I I couldn't rhyme. It was pretty ridiculous. Um, and so I got a little self-conscious about my confidence in my improving, and so that's why I wrote down a couple rhymes right before I started here. But you know what? I did make it up 5 minutes before I sang it. So I think that still counts. I think I still get full credit. Good morning, Razorblade. Good morning, Zoe. Oh, it is so nice to be back and see you. I was talking so much about you or us, this practice specifically, not about anyone particularly, but about this practice and how much it means to me, how much is a part of my integration of peak experiences, how much is a part of my spiritual practice. So thank you for being such an anchor in my life. And thank you for being here today. If you're watching this recording, hello to you wherever you are and whenever you are. If you're here and you would like to tell us where you are physically and share something that you're grateful for, that's your way of making this gratitude stew rich with flavor. So let us have it. Good morning, Christopher. Good morning, Heidi. Good morning, Michelle. Oh, so you guys did hear the song. Fantastic. Sometimes I worry that I start it too soon and nobody hears the song. I did jump naked into a creek, so I'll start with my gratitude with that. I am so grateful for clean water, for beautiful, cold, crisp streams, for swimming holes, and jumping into a cold rock. I mean, excuse me, not into cold rocks, jumping off rocks into a cold stream and then sunning on warm rocks to warm up afterwards. Oh, that might be my favorite thing. I think I like that more than the ocean. Yeah, I know I do. So it's kind of blasphemous for me to say that as a San Diegan, but I love lushness. I love running water, moving water, not running water like a faucet, like a moving creek or a stream where you can see the white water in it. I'm not so much a big fan of like huge rivers that are moving slowly that it just looks like, flat, but I love places where you can hear a little bit of rapids, even like teeny tiny. It doesn't have to be like a thundering waterfall, just a little. Yes, the creek jumping is naked creek jumping, especially because I only did it once naked. Because sometimes a few times over there was other people, and uh, one time there was kids. Although the one time that I was there with kids, like all the kids were jumping in naked, and then But I wanted to I posted a video of me jumping, and I wanted to record it, so I had my pants on, and I was very careful to wait till the kids left so that there was no naked children in my videos because I don't want to be incarcerated. That being, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I love seeing naked children in nature, like at the beach or swimming in this pond and with trees all around. Like there's something so beautiful about and a perfect little bean. It reminds me of like a budding leaf, before it's been weathered. It's like that Kermit colored, just beautiful unfolding brand new leaf. That's what little naked babies look like. Just like, oh, oh. Heidi shares, when my kids were little, we would sing the happy song, which was the word happy repeated again and again to any tune. Finding new tunes became part of the fun. Oh, I like that. Let's try that right now. Happy, 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 happy. That works. Razorblade says, I'm grateful for you, John, and love morning. I've missed it. This beautiful togetherness. Me too. And I was kind of like, because I talked about this almost every day to people and shared about us. And I was feeling, I felt guilty a little, several times of like, I don't want to abandon this practice for so long. Because people ask me like, "Oh, are you doing it while you're here?" I'm like, "No, I'm not." But partially is because I had almost no phone service and very little internet, and so there was no way I could have done this. So you know what? I'm going to let go of that guilt right now. Chris is grateful for a safe and fun weekend racing my vintage car. Grateful that I've had a fun adventures almost every month this past 6 months. You are living your best life, Chris. That is awesome. Remind me your car. Is it like a Stingray? Is that what it is? I'm trying to remember what your car is. Razorblade says, I grew up on the beach running around naked as a bub. Yeah, me too. I have this just awesome picture of me in the surf, huge grin, rosy cheeks, naked, and because my teeny tiny wiener is like 6 pixels in the picture, I can't dare show it with anybody. Zoe is so grateful that their Burning Man project is getting shipped off today to its new home with the perfect camp. Oh, that is exciting. So it's going to make it to the burn without you? That's pretty cool. Good morning, Patton. Good morning. And if you are here and have not said hello, say hello. Let us know you're here so we can feel your energy in this space. Let us know something you're grateful for, maybe where you are physically. I'm in San Diego, California, where it is very nice to be back home. But boy, do I love Oregon. I was staying in Mosier, which is about an hour east of Portland. And if you're familiar with that area at all, like the drive from Portland east on the main road freeway is so pretty. Like the river is on the left and there's like cliffs on the right with waterfalls, and it's just so green. And whew, Pacific Northwest is starting to like call to me. So the other things that I'm grateful for about this trip, I played my first ever game of Pokemon, which that in itself, I guess I'm grateful for that. It was fun to kind of get a sense of how it's played. But what was really fun is the people that I stayed with, they've got 3 children, 2 young boys that are, oh, good. I'm not sure exactly how old now that I think about it, but they're significantly, maybe like 8 and 10, something like that. So they're older than Asher, and it's so fun to play with them in ways that I'm not used to playing with kids, like long periods of time. They taught me a bunch of games. We did this really cool like science mystery game where it was like a kit, and each clue had like a science experiment that you do with it. Like there was one clue, you had to eliminate these 9 different countries and figure out which country was guilty of something. Now that I think about it, why did they do countries? Oh, because it's little shapes so that you had to cross off as you eliminate them. But like one of the clues was each of these countries is associated with one of these a color. And then they had pH strips, and you practiced. And you learned what the pH was of vinegar and of baking soda, and you see how it changes different colors. And then you learn what acids and bases are, and then you said which one of these countries is not a base based on the color that they were associated with. It's like, oh, country three is an acid. See, because it's red or green or whatever the scale is. It was so fun, and these kids were just so friendly and clever. I just had so much fun playing with kids, which reminds me more gratitude about Father's Day. But let me just take a moment to say, good morning, Painty. Jamie says, I am grateful for throwing my first large scale house music event after years of hiatus. What was it called? Did it have a name? I hope it went well. I hope you had fun. I threw my first event in college. I went to my first rave in like 1991, maybe 1990. Yeah, that's how old I am. And I was so blown away that, and I was in Redlands. I went to LA where there was raves happening in underground warehouses. And so I threw a rave at my school. My school had a thing where you could submit a party idea and they would give you a budget for it, because you threw up the party for the school. And so I said, I want to throw a rave at our school. It was called Marmalade Tide. I had a moon bounce. I had DJs. I had lights. It was Marmalade Tide. I even made a flyer that looked, because at the back then, like I was so into rave flyers, and a lot of them would use like some traditional consumer brand and then tweak it. So I made mine that looked like a Tide box, but said Marmalade Tide, and then it had, and I made up names for everybody, like lighting by the Tundra Puppy. That, even though they didn't have names like that, but I liked how on flyers I always had these crazy names for everyone who was DJing and bringing visuals and stuff. Bridget is in the Bay Area and is grateful for the recent weather. Thank you, Bridget, for sharing. I'm headed back to, not the back, but I'm heading to Big Sur in about a month, less than a month, which is not quite Bay Area, but I'm just trying to connect. And Michelle is grateful for new beginnings, my family, and friends. I will consider myself a part of that, Michelle, and I'm grateful for you. Patton says, I saved a vampire ball on accident earlier this AM. I'm pretty sure that's a Pokemon thing, right? I'm just barely getting the sense of like a novice, and then you secondary it, and then you got energy, and I guess I don't really know how to play, but I know better now. Good morning, Rob. Rob says, I'm the rad gay uncle currently watching my 5 great nieces and nephews on summer break in Seattle. I'm grateful this community is energizing me for the day, but the Pacific Northwest rules. Easier to drive to the playa as well. Oh, man. Hooray for awesome uncles and aunts. Good morning, Faith. Faith says, thankful to be here and love the glasses. Thank you. You know what? I have a confession to make. There are no lenses in these glasses. But I wear progressive. I've got 5 pairs of these glasses, these white ones. 3 pairs that are just standard, my distance lenses, and 2 pairs that are progressive with distance and then readers that blend. And so I wear white glasses most of the time, but the only time I don't use them is when I'm on the computer, because this distance of reading it's not helped. I can see fine this distance. So I don't wear them often when I'm doing this broadcast. And then I see the broadcast and I go, I don't look quite right in my head, because I normally, when I see myself or when I'm out in the world, I'm wearing glasses. So I just popped out one of my 3 pairs of glasses so that I could feel more me as I am here with you. So thank you so much. Good morning, Annalise. Good morning, Victoria. Victoria's saying that freshwater swimming, rocks, and sun is the best. Or so freshwater swimming, rocks, and sun is the best. Oh, it works either way. It used to be my life every day in summer. Today, I'm grateful to be swimming almost every day. Swimming. Yay. Awesome. Um, Jamie said first one was Soul Pollination in 97. Oh, that's a great name. That's a great name. And then it's Moonstone, and the bi-monthly one named based on birthstone of each month. Oh, that's a really cool idea. I love that. Zoe says that Victor and I are moving to the Pacific Northwest later this year. Not exactly sure where yet, though. Open to suggestions. So I am just now getting a sense of what like I'm learning like Oregon has super rainforesty wet coastal. It's got dry parts. It's got the like Mosier, I guess, is like on the border of wet and dry. So it 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 gets pretty dry and hot there in the summertime. So I don't know. I think because of my love of overcast days, that I think I want to live in one of the wetter parts of Washington or Oregon. Good morning, Steve. Good to see you. I just realized out in the garage that I have one more pair of your jeans to give away next first Saturday, which is 4th of July weekend. Oh, thank you for correcting me, Patton. Vampire Ball is an event. Thank you. Jamie says, I use readers on the phone, but just plain blue light regularly. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's really the white frames. I buy these through Zenni. So like a pair of prescription glasses is like $15 or something like that. So I have them all over the place. I've got just like a rack of glasses and um keep, a pair here, a pair there, a pair in the car. And the white ones are the ones that I wear almost all the time. I also tend to wear white shoes, and so the kind of coordination of white and white, I like the way that looks. Pink hair, white glasses, white shoes. Rue, hello to you in Alberta, where it is nice and sunny. Hello, Nika. Good to see you. A company called Peepers. That's a good name. Better than Creepers. Let's see. So what else was I going to share? Oh, Father's Day. So I was gone for Father's Day, and I was thinking a lot about my dad. But what I really wanted to share was Amy reposted a video that I made 4 years ago when Asher was 1 years old, where I talked about how I don't feel like I should celebrate Father's Day because I am not raising Asher. And I really was quite insistent about not having people call me father because the fathers that I know have such a different level of responsibility than I do. I am not responsible for Asher. Amy is. Amy is responsible for being the mother and the father to Asher. I am the bio dad. I contributed my DNA, and I am a occasional male presence in his life through a weekly video call and a visit 2 or 3 times a year. So to me, it feels wrong to consider myself a father. In fact, when we went through counseling before I sent off my sperm, and Amy and I went through like a counselor with a person whose specialty was in sperm donor relations, the counselor encouraged us not to use the word dad or father because Asher shouldn't compare me to his peers' dads and fathers. That's why he calls me Bada for biodad. That being said, I feel differently now. I still don't call myself father. I don't think I'm a father. But if somebody sends me a happy Father's Day note, I it feels good. I totally accept that. I am playing a unique version of a father to Asher, and he's a huge part of my life. I feel like our relationship is not like an uncle. It is not like a friend. It is like a father, even though I am not raising him. So I do feel connected enough to Asher that I am comfortable celebrating Father's Day while acknowledging and truly celebrating my friends who show up as incredible fathers. The dedication, the patience required to be a good, present, responsible father is so incredible and intense. And so thank you to all the fathers. And thank you to my father, Ron Stinn. Great man. Still going, charging, still doing docent tours at Torrey Pines after retiring as a judge. I was looking through Facebook memories and saw a bunch of pictures my brother posted last year of my dad with us when we were kids. And I don't remember those times. And so it really was touching to think of my dad as this young man with young boys and what that must have felt like for him and how scary and how brave he was. Jamie saying, I seem to have a deep connection and influence with Asher. We definitely have a special connection. We're supposed to do a video chat today, so I'm looking forward to that. Where I was, I didn't have internet service, so we couldn't connect on Father's Day. So I'm going to celebrate Father's Day with Asher today is the goal. Nika says, I think in a lot of ways we become parents to ourselves through life experience and change, and as we evolve as humans. I think your description is accurate and honest. That's refreshing and beautiful. We definitely parent ourselves. In fact, we are all the result of our parenting. And because parents are humans, they did stuff that affects us. I won't even say negatively. It just affects us. We have trauma and we develop patterns and coping mechanisms, all sorts of stuff because of ways that we didn't get and did get our needs met. And so part of growing and healing often is reparenting ourselves. And so I've been researching that and practicing some of that over the last year and a half. And there's this really interesting kind of question that I sometimes go through and ask myself is like, if you were parenting yourself, would you let yourself do this thing that you're about to do? Would you let yourself eat that? Would you let yourself stay up this late? It's like, oh, try that. It is a really interesting kind of mirror question frame to put around your choices. If I was a parent to me, what guidance, what boundaries, what discipline would I ask for or demand? Tall Paul, good to see you. Hope you are continuing to stay as cool as possible in New Mexico. Right, Victoria? Isn't that a good question? Anyone else want to share any gratitude today? Oh, I have one more thing to share. Okay, it's getting late. I have one more thing that I want to share today. I'm so glad to be back. It feels so good to be connected and sharing gratitude. And to reminding our purposes of this love morning are sharing gratitude. And at least the way that I've been saying it lately is practicing patience and kindness to ourselves and others. Tiny gestures, tiny acts of patience and kindness to ourselves and others. Nika says, I think it took me years to be able to receive compliments like my energy or attention being a comfort, not realizing that through therapy and positive influences, I unconsciously reprogram my brain. Wait, My energy or attention being a comfort. Let me see if this may or may not be what you're talking about, but it's a good segue. So I I've been spending I love hanging out with my parents. I really love hanging out with my mom and talking with her and having lunch with her. We both have very flexible schedules, so she's often someone that I can go to lunch with. And last week, I was I was commenting on how great her health is. Like she is doing so good physically and mentally for 81 years old. And she acknowledged that, compared to her peers and her friends, that she is doing really good compared to her peers. And she said, I know that if I give people love and attention, they feel better. And I think knowing that I have that purpose keeps me healthy. And then she said, you do that too, John. I was like, fuck, mom is wise. And the additional epiphany that I had around that is that I need to listen to my mom more. My mom is such a good listener. In my family, my dad was a presence. My brother and I uh, fight for the microphone, at the dinner table. It's the men kind of dominating the conversation, and mom is a good listener. And when I have lunch with my mom, she's such a good listener that she I feel so comfortable exploring ideas and thoughts and speaking from the heart. In fact, I think she is the one who really trained me how to be a good, honest, heartfelt, vulnerable communicator, because when I speak with her, there's such unconditional love that it allows me to access thoughts and questions that might be scary. And so when I have lunch with her, I'm often talking through things and crying through things and sharing things. And last week, when she said that, I'm like, oh shit, I need to listen more. Even though my mom's role has always been quieter in our family dynamic, I want to hear what she has to say. I want to hear and absorb the wisdom that she is the product of a beautiful life of love. And I am so grateful that I had that epiphany this weekend and not 10 years from now. So I just texted my mom this morning and said, are you free for dinner tonight or tomorrow? Both my parents. And so feeling really grateful for that awareness, and grateful that awareness of that she reminded me that my attention and love can make people feel better. Because often my old pattern is entertain people, tell stories, make them laugh. And people like that. I like the way that feels. But there is something better, maybe not better, different, but there is more healing. There's deeper connection that can happen from listening and presence than in storytelling and entertaining. So I'm working on the balance of between those things. And I was practicing that this weekend. So thank you, mom. Thank you, mom. Thank you, mom. Annalise says, I'm grateful for new beginnings. I have to move and decided to get a fifth wheel. Ooh, so excited. At least I keep telling myself that. Wow. Well, bravo for getting a new adventure vehicle. Nika sharing, your presence is a present. Exactly. Rue says, I'm grateful for my son being open and communicating with me. That is the best. Having a honest, open communication with your children is not easy. It can be very difficult to shift from protective parent, to honoring their opinions and beliefs and listening enough so that they feel like they can be truly honest and not be have consequences for their truth. That is very hard, but bravo. It is half past. I think probably about time for us to have a hug and head out into our days. What do you guys think? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So wherever you are, give yourself a big old squeeze and appreciate this body we're in. Appreciate the opportunity to be grateful. Appreciate the chance to start this day with patience and kindness and to try to add little bits of patience and kindness as we go through this day. Let's be grateful for everyone here who has shared a little gratitude so we can feel the love ambassador presence around the world, recognizing that everyone we meet, even the people that we feel like we are not in alignment with, but that we are all humans doing our best, having a human experience, trying to be safe and healthy and do good by the people we love, even if we might have very different interpretations of how to do that. But at the core level, we are all doing the best we can with what we got. So let's take a deep breath in and sink into that oneness of a shared human experience, squeezing one another. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thank you for being here for this Hug Nation Love Morning. I am John Halcyon. I love you. Good to be back. Thank you for your presence.